And hello there, this is Dr. Kathy, and I am delighted that you are here, whether you are here live or you are watching the replay. So I will be channeling Amma, the Divine Mother, and we may have some people here who don't know who or what that is. So I bring in the energy of the feminine aspect of God. This is not the Amma you read about, like the hugging Amma, Amma Chi. This is not the same thing. This is the full. It's not the full feminine aspect of God. That would probably burn up my body. But it's the part that comes into me. And she is going to talk about vibration and things that we can use to raise our vibration to increase our spiritual connection, which will also increase our emotional connection. So I'm here with Fatima. Fatima, let's see if I can get you just to show up on this. There you go. That's Fatima there. And
Hi.
Fatima knows lots and lots about essential oils, and she's going to talk about some blends that are in the company that I am with, which is the doTERRA blend. But every company has their own blends, and I'll talk about how I actually put my own blends together and what's happened to me lately in doing that. So thank you, Fatima. Now we're going to go back to me, just so people know who's talking. And I am going to bring in Amma now, who's going to talk about, and I don't know how long she's going to talk, but it'll probably be for about 10 or 15 minutes. And there's a process that I go through, and those of you who are people that have been there before, if you'll just say heart source, even if you don't know what your heart source is, just say it, you'll go into it, gets you centered and grounded. And now, if you will just imagine a beam of energy going from your heart to mine, I would appreciate it because that gives me support. And then the next one you hear will be Amma. My voice doesn't usually change very much, so. Well, good morning, dear ones. So we are here today to talk more about this thing you call essential oils, which I call the life force of the plants. So just as your blood is your life force in the physical sense, then the oils are distillations of the life force within the plant. Now this one I speak through, she asked me to talk about how can oils be used vibrationally. So I actually am going to talk about oils, yes, but I'm going to mention crystals because I know there are many people that enjoy crystals also. Both of these raise vibration. The advantage of oils is you can carry with you a wide range of oils, correct? Numbers of them. This one that I'm speaking through, she has her little box that she has stuffed in a lot of oils, and she must have about 20 oils in there that she then muscle tests to see which would be better for her. In fact, I'll let her talk about that herself. She did that before she came in today in order to bring me in and how it helps. So let's talk about vibration. Let's talk about spirituality. First, spirituality. You are spirit, correct? You are spirit living in this body. Touch your body. I'm having this one touch your body. It's solid, is it not? It feels solid, and yet if you went down to the microscopic or the atomic level, it would have all of this space in it, but it seems solid. It is made up of energy, and because its vibration is lower than the spirit, the energy is able to stay in the body. So when I talk about lower vibration in this sense, I'm not making a judgment about whether it is good or bad. It's just the frequency. It's down lower so you can stay in your body. Now, every time you have an emotion, let's try this. I'm going to start off with one which you might not like very much, but I want you to experience it. Think, and we're going to get out of it real quickly, okay? I want you to think of something you're afraid of. Notice what now, I want you to kind of step out of the emotion and notice what's happening to your body. Now, think of the person you love the most. It could be more than one person. Who do you love the most? Get in touch with that feeling. Do you notice the difference? Do you notice the difference in how your body feels and how you feel when you're in touch with two different vibrations? Well, you're human. I know I didn't need to tell you that, and that's not a big surprise. But humanity in this world that you're in, on this planet called Earth, you have what is called free will, which means that you can make decisions to go against the will of God or to stay in alignment with the will of God. Now, humanity is struggling, much of humanity is struggling to know, well, what is the will of God? And they're also struggling with, has God let me down? Is there really a God? Is there really a spiritual force that created this entire world? Or did it happen by chance? Well, I'm going to let you decide on that yourself. And that is your own spiritual struggle. I'm going to talk about what can assist you. Now, let me talk about crystals first, because we're going to be focusing on the oils at the end. And this dear one that is known as Fatima in this particular life, she is going to talk about more of the oils themselves. I want to talk about the effect right now with crystals. If you have a crystal, or if you felt a crystal, they have a particular vibration. And they have it according to what they are. So the vibration of a beautiful rose quartz is different than the vibration, similar but different than the vibration of a clear quartz or a smoky quartz or an amethyst, which is a type of quartz, or a citrine, which is a type of quartz. Then you have those that are said to have elevated the vibration of people, to kind of put them in tune with things. So if you are of the Judeo-Christian tradition and you read in the Jewish scriptures, you'll read about stones such as lapis, malachite. They were on the breastplate of the high priest. Ancient Egypt used stones also. And if you are able to go into a place where there's lots of little ones of one kind, and you can put your fingers in, you can feel the difference. Now, because you are working with the vibration of a stone, you can carry that vibration with you if it is something that you wish to work with. So, for instance, there is one called Apache Tears, and it's a type of obsidian, and you can have that for grief. And now this will hold into you to help you to put your vibration in a way to release grief. But you have to carry it with you. Now, let me switch to oils. There are what are called blends, and there are single oils that do this also, where you can set the intention to ask that particular oil or that blend to assist you in releasing or opening up the energy of forgiveness, for instance. Did you know that forgiveness is one of the greatest things you can do for yourself? For yourself. You do not forgive someone else, which means to let go of all that happened. You do not do that for the other person. You do that for you, so you are free of that event. Forgiveness is difficult, is it not? That's what this one tells me. She says it can be extremely difficult. So you can bring a vibration of a crystal, or you can take an oil and place it upon you and set the intention for it to raise your vibration to the point where you can release that which you are holding on to that you no longer need. Different oils work in different ways, just as different herbs work in different ways. So you would take an herb, say foxglove, for instance. The ancients would use foxglove, which is a beautiful flower, would use foxglove to help in regulating the heart. Now your pharmaceutical industry has taken parts of foxglove out and made it into a pill called digitalis, which can have severe side effects because it isn't the whole of the plant, and it is more dangerous. Whereas with foxglove in the herbal form, It can also assist you and assist your vibration in a gentle, gentle manner. Oils can do the same thing. They are the lifeblood of the plant, therefore they contain that vibration in concentrated form. So let's take the foxglove. Oh, let's move to an oil. Let's take the lavender plant. Isn't it a beautiful plant? Have you seen a field of lavender? And you can smell the wonderful aroma of lavender. So when you have the whole of that plant and you make, say, a lavender tea out of it, or you dry it and put it in a pillow, just so you can have that scent, you have the whole constellation of that plant that is there assisting you. You would need a great deal of lavender to do for you the same thing one drop of high quality essential oil would do for you. So one drop of the life force of a plant will do much more for you or be equal to a large quantity of another. Think of a juniper tree or juniper berries. The same thing is you can make teas out of juniper berries. Did you know that juniper tea is very good for the healing of the bladder and of bladder issues? So if you have bladder issues, you could take a juniper tea, could make a juniper tea. If you use the lifeblood of the oil, it is concentrated and you can use just a drop. Or you can muscle test. You might need 2 drops, but you don't need much. And you can put it in some hot water if you wish and to drink it as a tea in itself. Or you could place it upon your body in a particular way. Now, when we talk about spiritual, we're talking about working with the plants, the oils that raise you in an emotional level. They raise your vibration emotionally. So let's say that you will take lavender. Many people have females, it could be mothers, it could have been grandmothers that they love dearly, who sometimes wore lavender. And that if you smell the aroma of lavender, it brings you back to that memory of that individual. What happens to you emotionally? Your heart opens. Your mood lifts, because that is what happens is the mood will then lift, and it allows you to be able to allow the good, high quality, high vibration energies to come in. When your mood is lifted, you are able to handle the difficulties in life much more easily. So one of the things that you can do with certain oils is to choose the ones that you can, or that bring to you a lifting of your mood, and it will help dissolve concentrated low vibration energy, like the energy of holding on to a wound, for instance, or of holding on to sadness. It helps to raise your vibration and to dissolve that energy around you. That way you are more able to open yourself up to love, which is, of course, the greatest force in the world. Don't let anybody tell you that hate is. Love is the greatest force in the world. So another analogy that I just had, this one, she just popped it into me and said, well, think of something like sadness or non-forgiveness as very, very tight clothes that bind you. And when you take the oil allows, think of the energy surrounding you as a binding clothes. You take the oil and the oil shifts your energy so those bindings loosen some, and you can then make the decision to release. It is highly beneficial to use all substances which raise your vibration with intention, be it crystals, be it herbs, be it oils, to use them with intention. I think that's enough. I think that gives you enough. So just let me summarize it by saying oils with your intention and the frequency of the oil can assist you in releasing energy which is binding you like tight clothes and preventing you from moving forward in life. Talk to your oils. You can do that. Now, blessings to you, my dear ones. Blessings. I hope that gave you, this is Kathy back, and I hope that gave you some information on the oils. Amma mentioned that I kind of muscle tested before I did this work. And what I did, I'll show you. This little container, actually, it has a group of oils that I purchased when I joined doTERRA, but see what's underneath it is all of these other oils. I don't know if you can see them. It's all of these other oils. I just keep them under there. And what I did is I had the box in front of me, and I said, what would be the best oil? And I asked for just one. What would be the best oil for me to use to prepare for this session? Because I knew I would be channeling, and that takes a lot of energy. And so I just muscle tested, and I usually, because I have oils on 2 levels, I say it's at the top level or the bottom level, and I said, is it the top? And then I go back to the top and say, is it the top? And I got yes. Is it the top row or is it the bottom row? And I just went that way and then picked up the oil, and it was frankincense, which I was to use. Now, I didn't ask if there was another one. There could have been another one. One of the things that I have started doing of late is taking baths. Now, I'm really a shower person. All my life, I kind of agreed with my grandmother. Why would you want to sit in your own dirt? And so I had this aversion to baths, but I have been intuitively, I'm doing a detox right now, and was intuitively called to getting into the bathtub with Epsom salts. And so then I would ask, what oils do I need? I'm also doing another spiritual practice. There's a group of us working with what's called the first ray of God's will. And so I was asking, what oils would assist me the most? And there are 2 oils that come out every day. One of them is frankincense and one of them is sandalwood. And I also received intuitively, because I was muscle testing, looking at the whole list of oils that doTERRA, which is the group that I work with, oils, and I'm ordering it this next one, which is myrrh. And so that is I'm going to combine that to assist me in raising my vibration for spiritual energies. And I also got On Guard one time, and On Guard is an oil which helps your immune system. So what I did is I would then say what oils, and I brought the oils with me. One time I got ginger, not real sure what ginger was about, but I got ginger, and I just took the oils with me, and then I muscle test and say how many drops of each. Now we're talking about bath water, right? So you have multitudes of gallons of water in there, and how many drops. And I would get 1 to 3 drops of each of the oils. Now, sometimes 4 got in there because some of the bottles, a lot comes out of them, some of them not many. So I did that. And the first time it happened, and I'm very sensitive to energy, I can feel it. And I got into the bath and I could feel my body. The best way I can describe it is the energies in my body shifting. So if you have oils that you're using, or you would like to, and I'd be glad to talk to anybody about getting a hold of some oils, is that if you have oils that you're already using, ask, which is the best one for me now? And pendle or douse or muscle test. And you can even say, which is the best, let's say you're in a foul mood, which is the best one for me now to release that mood? You can do that. Now, because Amma mentioned crystals, and I don't have my crystals with me, they're a lot harder to carry around. When you have crystals, you can also do the same thing for your crystals. Which would be the best crystal for me to use right now? If you're at a crystal shop, you can muscle test. Which is the best crystal for me to purchase right now? You can do the same with purchasing oils. So I just wanted to share that with you. And now I'm going to turn you over to my friend, Fatima. And Fatima is the expert. You know what an expert is, right? It's someone who knows a little bit more than you. She has her own experts that she works with. So
That's
she's
great.
my expert, and then she has other experts that she works with. So I introduce you to Fatima, who I've asked her to talk about some blends and how they work. Now, I told you I would tell you how I get my blends. Well, I just told you is I muscle test to see which ones would go into my bath water. And you can do the same thing in making your own blends and maybe putting them in some almond oil or sesame oil. You can see what works best for you. Some people use fractionated coconut oil. And you can make your, God bless you, and you can use then your own blends in that way. So Fatima, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. So I'm on. All right.
You
I
are.
might try to share my screen in a little bit, but I'm just going to make sure that you all can see me and hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, great. Okay, I don't know where you went. There you are. Okay. So thanks, Kathy. Again, this is really fun. This is our third webinar, and I told Kathy yesterday, these are a lot of fun because I learned so much from them each time. I'm so happy to share what has been a real profound personal experience with these oils. You know, my children experienced some health issues when they were young, and we went looking for answers. And we used a variety of things, acupuncture and healings and homeopathy and nutrition. But I was so surprised to see the effect of these essential oils. And I wanted to know why they worked on my children. And so that's where I started taking classes and nutrition classes, essential oil classes at NIHA. NIHA is the National Integrative Health Associates. It's the largest medical integrative practice on the East Coast, so that I could understand why the doctors there were prescribing these to their patients frontline. So it has been a very interesting journey. So before I talk about some of the blends of these emotional oils, I do want to talk quickly about what are essential oils. Oils are nature's defense mechanism. They come from plants. They're pure, such as the peels of citrus fruits. A lot of oils come from the peels of citrus fruits, which is something that we throw away. They are highly concentrated. In fact, they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. 1 drop of the peppermint is equal to 28 cups of peppermint tea. 1 drop of the lemon is equal to 5 lemons, and not just the juice of the lemon, but the entire lemon. So they're very powerful, and not all essential oils are created equally. And, you know, I know some of you have heard me say this before, but I think it's important to repeat for the new people. The high quality companies, and there are several out there, are labeled as therapeutic grade. So what does that mean? It means, number one, that they're highly potent, like I just explained, you know, almost 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. They're also sourced from all over the world, from that region where the plant grows naturally the best. So in other words, lavender is harvested in the south of France, where it gets the proper altitude, climate, the seasons, the soil. That way you end up with a really superior product. The second reason that differentiates doTERRA from other oils is that they are CPTG, which is certified pure therapeutic grade. This is really important because each oil has 0 fillers, synthetics, dyes, pesticides, contaminants. They have a rigorous testing procedure where they go through 9 different kinds of tests, and they test every single liter of oil. So everything is tested. I want to give you a little example. 70% of the United States lemons are sourced from Florida, and they're pretty cheap and they're pretty good. However, doTERRA will get its lemons from a 4th generation farmer in Italy, who not only has the right soil and climate and rainfall, like I spoke of, to grow his lemons, but he also has generations worth of wisdom in his farming techniques. And we know that nutrition comes from agriculture, and oils are part of this nutritional makeup that we're trying to introduce into modern society. It's really like bringing ancient wisdom back to modern society. So I want to talk a little bit about the emotional oils. And there's so many of them that I don't think I could possibly go through all of them, but I do want to talk a little bit about them. You know, the ancient Greeks and Romans and Chinese and the Indian cultures use essential oils for rituals and religious practices, recognizing their ability to influence human feelings. Even with this rich history of essential oil usage, it took many years for the scientific community to recognize the emotional benefits of aromatherapy. So after like substantial research of years and years, in the 1990s, biologists began to really understand how chemical sensors in the body respond to the effects of scent. And this research opened the door, you know, how can aromatherapy have an effect on human emotion and mood? And it's very similar to what Kathy already said. When we smell something, it triggers memories. It stimulates emotional responses, right? When we smell a distinct aroma, the scent is processed, you know, through our olfactory nerve here in the nose. It goes up and it pings the limbic system in the brain. And this limbic system is an area of the brain where emotions and memories are stored. And in response, the limbic system then produces a chemical reaction, thus creating an emotion or a sentiment or a feeling, good or bad. So it's really interesting how this all works and the science behind it. And there are so many studies about the properties of lavender and how it soothes with you know, feelings of tension, anxiety, and other oils. Some of my favorite oils, Kathy, I don't know if you know this, I went to a conference recently and they talked about geranium, and they talked about how these little kids who had been adopted were very emotionally upset. And some of the ladies there who were from our team used geranium and rubbed it right on their hearts. And so geranium has this ability to kind of calm and center and release that tension. Another one is ylang ylang. Ylang ylang comes from Madagascar. These are single oils, like geranium is a single oil, it's not a blend. Ylang ylang is a single oil, it's not a blend. And that's another one that we use right on the heart with a lot of self-love and a lot of positive self-talk, right on the heart for people who are feeling some kind of emotional disturbance. And then we have several blends that I like to talk about. My favorite is Balance. I don't know, Kathy, do you have a bottle of Balance on you? I don't have it with me, but we could show them. Balance is exactly that. It balances you. It grounds you. It's got a foresty aroma. It's something that when your mind is going like all crazy, yeah, that's Balance. When your mind is going all crazy, it's a way to kind of come down and center. And we've been using it in a couple of daycares where we give, you know, when the caretakers there give the kids a timeout, we actually ask them to drop a drop of Balance in those children's hands and then go to the corner and have a timeout. So while they're trying to regain their composure and get over whatever they were doing wrong, we ask them to inhale the Balance. And so while they're in that timeout, they're actually using the Balance to affect their brain chemistry. So why not give people tools, like Kathy said, to help them shift that emotional response? And that's why I love these oils, because they're so easy to use. A drop in your hand, inhaling them. You can diffuse them in your diffuser, which helps the whole room shift. You can drink them in water. So doTERRA is one of the very few companies that is FDA approved for internal consumption. So these are very safe to drink and cook with. And also, obviously, you can put it right on your skin. It goes through your skin right away. So a lot of times when we have people with toxicity issues, we will put oils right on their liver, even emotional oils. So the way some of these emotional oils work is obviously based on chemistry. Each essential oil blend in the emotional aromatherapy system is made up of basic chemicals that are categorized into different classifications. And these classifications are used to create different emotional responses. So for instance, do you want to feel, they're really basically two categories. One is calming and one is uplifting. Do you want to feel calm? If you do, then the essential oils in the floral category are typically composed of oils that come from trees, herbs, and grasses. These are known to promote grounding, soothing emotions, feelings of, renewal. The other side of it is the uplifting. Maybe you don't want to feel calm and ground, you want to feel energized and uplifted. So with a high concentration of ketones, the mint essential oils are commonly known to be energizing. These include, spearmint, peppermint, things like that. But citrus oils, we all know, also possess uplifting characteristics. And some of the spice oils are also known for their warming properties. So, and the citrus oils are grapefruit, tangerine, orange, lemon, lime, and there's so many spices, from thyme and rosemary to cilantro and cardamom and things like that. So depending on which way you want to go, you can really empower yourself to either muscle test, like Kathy said, or figure out from, just your basic state of awareness, do you want to feel more calm or do you want to feel more energized? So I want to show you, I'm going to try to share my screen, but before I do that, I want to show you that this is the emotional, tell me Kathy if you can see this, the emotional aromatherapy chart. So there's 6 oils in this. And so how do you know which one is good for you? So this chart kind of helps you go through and identify the emotion that you have and identify the emotion that you want to have. And
May
so
I
that's
say something?
really important. Mm-hmm.
Show the chart again, please. Those of you who know how to use a pendulum, what do you need to do? You only need to put your pendulum right in the center of that chart and ask which oil, and your pendulum will move to the oil that you need. So I just wanted to point that out. So it's already set for a dowsing tool.
Right. And these are the oils. So there's 6 oils, and I love the names of them. They're Motivate, which is the encouraging blend, Cheer, which is the uplifting blend, Peace, which is the reassuring blend, Console, which is the comforting blend, Forgive, which is the renewing blend, and Passion, which is the inspiring blend. So these are, I use them almost daily. And for little children, on my smaller kids or on older adults, I use these. It's the same oils, but they come in a roller bottle and they're already diluted with fractionated coconut oil, because sometimes we don't know how our skin is going to react with these oils. So on smaller babies, toddlers, infants, preschoolers, even, my 10-year-old, I will use these are called touch oils because you just touch and go. So that is very convenient. I'm going to see if I can share my screen and show you the Forgive. Tell me if you see it, Kathy. It may come up, may not.
Let's give it a moment.
Yeah. There you go.
Something's going to start.
You see it?
Not yet. There it is.
Okay. So you can really do your research and really find out which oils are made of what blends. I mean, which blend is made out of which oils. And so Forgive, for instance, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 oils in it. Spruce, bergamot, juniper berry, myrrh, arbor vitae, the Nootka tree, thyme, and citronella. And it's got different chemical components in it, like monoterpene esters, things that I can't even pronounce. But honestly, for any of the science geeks out there like me, if you want to look at what is inside each oil, this is a good way on the website to really find out the chemical profile of each oil. So I'm happy to take questions. about any of the emotional oils or anything else regarding oils, but I think in closing, I really do want to emphasize that whatever oils you use, make sure they're really high quality and they're sourced from a place that's clean and pure. A lot of the oils you get in your local grocery store or health food store may say 100% pure, 100% organic, and they are by law allowed to have fillers, chemicals, contaminants, pesticides. So with these oils, I'm very assured that I can drink them because I know it doesn't have any of that. So in passing, I wanted to make sure that whatever you use, especially if it's for your emotions, you don't want to be diluting your emotions with more junk. So I think it's important to really be careful. So thank you. Thank you so much.
I'd like to say something. I mentioned this last time, but if you're on Facebook and if you want me to send you the actual Facebook link to this, just email me and I'll be glad to give it to you. But I found a Facebook, what do you call them? Place you go on Facebook that actually tests chemically the different oils. And this guy will test any unopened bottle of oil at no charge. Well, let's see, that's not quite true. People who have bought oils from him, and I bought some so that I would be able to send some in as needed, to test the oils to get their purity. And he will test anything you send in, and you could actually go to his website and he will have a list. You can see those without paying anything. He will have a list of the test results he's done. And this is totally from his testing. He found that any of the oils, and he tested a whole slew of them that you get at Walgreens, CVS, even at Whole Foods, like the Now brand, NOW brand, they're not pure and don't have the purity in them. They have a lot of fillers. They even have some things in there that you don't have. And there's evidently, if you're the chemist person, Fatima, there are even parts of the plant, like you want this particular part, but it doesn't have that particular part. It has another part which dilutes it even more.
Right.
So if you're interested in that particular Facebook site, how about that? I came up with the word. If you're interested in that little Facebook site, just shoot me an email, Kathy@odysseytowholeness.com. Shoot me an email, and I will be glad to send you the name of that. I'm really enjoying learning more about the chemistry because I want good stuff going into my body. I want to mention, you didn't mention this. Go ahead. Were you going to say something on that, Fatima?
I was going to say that at the bottom of the doTERRA bottles that you may get, there is a number. And for the single blends, you can put that number into a website, and I'm happy to pass out that website, and it will come up with the chemical profile of that plant, and the testing. So it's very transparent. So they haven't done this for the blends yet. They're getting to it, but it's there. So for anybody who's interested in transparency, I think it's really important to know that you go with a company that has this kind of integrity. So I don't know, Kathy, if you knew about that.
You mentioned it at the last call. That's how I found out about it.
Okay, good.
There's a blend that you didn't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Intune.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a sister-in-law who does alternative healing with a biofeedback machine called a SCIO, which stands for something long. And she was working on me, and she said, so tell me different ways you manage the ADD. And I said, I don't have ADD. And so she laughed. She didn't laugh. She only laughed after I started laughing later, is that she named a list. She just gave them one at a time. There are about 10 different qualities of people with ADD. And I only had 11 out of the 12. And it really just kind of explained a lot for me and how I jump from, I can really get deterred by squirrels. Oh, look over there, And so I've been using the Intune to assist me, and it has been helping me to do it. That was on sale a couple of months ago, and I got 2 bottles of it. and it's in the little fractionated thing, and I just put it on the back. In fact, you may have seen, I was just put it on the back of my spine right up there because I could get to it real easily. And it is helping me to stay focused, at least when I have the idea that, oh, I'm tired of writing this, like I write the title. Oh, I don't know if I can finish the rest of it. Let me go. And I bring myself back and go, no, you can do this. So I just wanted to mention that, and I don't know where you would put this. I would imagine it would be a grounding oil, although I'm looking at the
It is. You can
characteristics of it. It has West Indian sandalwood, bark oil, patchouli, frankincense. Some of these I use already. Lime, ylang ylang, Hawaiian sandalwood, chamomile. But that's one of the easy ways of doing it too.
There's a couple of others that are really good for focus, since we're talking about emotions, so the balance that I mentioned. But there's another one called Serenity, which is for sleep. However, people who have difficulty focusing and concentrating use Serenity because it's got vetiver and cedarwood and lavender. And if you read about those 3 oils, those are the oils that help the emotions go from like a 10 down to like a 1. And so they're very grounding, helps to calm the monkey mind, the mind chatter. And we use that a lot for our focus and sleep protocols. So that's something that is very complementary to the InTune.
Thank you. Now I'm just going to unmute everybody. So if you have noise in your background, if you would mute yourself, but this will just allow people to say something. Does anybody have any questions of Fatima?
I had a question.
Please.
This is Jenna. Thank you, Dr. Kathy. Thank you, Fatima, for, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, Fatima. Yes,
The team,
absolutely.
okay. I have the Terra oils, and my close friend's daughter sells them, and I get them from her. And I have one next to me. I have Wild Orange. But I would like to get some information on a couple of things you said really piqued my curiosity. One with helping kids calm, especially really young children.
Right.
And with using a pendulum, which I don't know how to use, and I don't know how to muscle test either. And I would like to have some sources of muscle testing, or a source that I can go to learn.
Okay. Kathy would be your expert for muscle testing. I'm not going to say that I know how to do it. I'm happy if you want to email me to answer some of your other questions about the oils for children. We can have a conversation. No problem. I'm going to type in my email right here in the chat box. And
I'm on the phone. I'm not on the online. Is there a way I can access that email?
You can get it from Kathy.
Okay.
Yeah, Jenna, send me an email also when I post this particular video. Then I will put at the very end of it, I probably ought to put one at the very beginning. I'll put a list of all of our contact information. Also, if you email me, we can set up, about a 20 minutes or so where we can talk about muscle. Maybe I just need to, are there other people that want to learn about muscle testing and that? Maybe I'll just set up a meeting for those who want to learn how to do muscle testing and using a pendulum.
That would be great.
And so we can do that one time. You don't need a fancy pendulum. I mean, I have pendulums. You can use, if you wear a pendant, you can use a pendant. You can even use a tea bag that has a string on it.
Okay, I like that.
I have some people that they make their own, like that we do it. We make a pendulum out of a paper clip. It needs to be, has some substance. Somebody uses like a bolt or something like that. So,
Right, right.
but okay, I'll do that. I'll set up a little session that we can talk about pendling and muscle testing.
That would be wonderful. I had a question. Can I ask a question for myself?
Please.
I had a medical procedure done recently, and I would like to know if there's something.
Hold on one second. Somebody needs to mute back there. Y'all are moving around. Let's see if I can find who it is. Okay. Jan, I'm going to mute. Can you unmute on your phone? I think it's calmed down some, so go ahead. Continue.
Okay. I had a medical procedure done very recently, and I would like to know if there's an oil I can use to help calm down hot nerve endings. And it's in my head. It's on the one side of my head. I had to have some vascular procedure done, and my nerve endings are hot in some parts of where they did the procedure.
So that's a really specific question. So I think, again, that's something that I wouldn't feel comfortable just telling you right off the bat. I would look into it and tell you. And that's,
okay.
This is what I like about doTERRA is because we have so much education available to us. We have several resources that I'll cross-reference. Right now, cypress comes to mind, the oil of cypress, but I'm not sure that would be it because you mentioned heat. So I don't know. I will have to look at it and get back to you because that's something a little more complicated.
And may I suggest that when you get, say Fatima's email address so that you can be in communication with her about it. Because I know discomfort like that is just difficult. There's different kinds of pain, right? You can have that sharp pain, but that kind of discomfort is a type of pain. It's a burning pain.
Yeah. And it's when it has calmed. A friend of mine taught me a little bit of energy work to use, and then I've been getting energy treatments also, which help. And I thought, I wonder if there's something, I can either put on my skin or even just hold the bottle or hold something like it right there, and it would help to just take some of that frayedness, that's a word, frayedness sort of away. So, okay.
Great.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have a question? Anybody else? Okay, well, I guess that's it then. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. Fatima, do you have any last words of wisdom?
No, I don't think so. I just think that if you're dealing with an issue that's somewhat chronic, I think it's important to know that it's safe to use these oils multiple times a day. A lot of people will ask about the safety. And if you have something that's mild, maybe 1 or 2 applications a day is fine. But, listening to this lady's issue just a minute ago, I'm thinking of her using it several times a day because it gets into our bloodstream and gets to our organs very quickly if you swipe the oil on the bottom of your feet, on your wrists, over your heart, in different areas of the body. And so it's something we like to pull together. So don't be afraid of using them several times a day. They're very safe.
And changing the topic, though, as there was a chat, which you answered, but somebody asked if using a diffuser was safe for animals in the house. And Fatima said, yes, using a diffuser is safe. So I just want y'all to to know about that question. All right, last chance.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, Annie, go right ahead.
Is there an oil, if someone has had a hip replacement done, is there something that would help them through the process of healing?
Yeah, there are several oils that help with those kinds of situations. Frankincense comes to mind. DDR Prime, it's a proprietary blend that doTERRA makes. It has like 6 or 7 oils in it that's very good for healing in those kinds of situations. So there are, again, with something as specific as that, I will have to look it up and we can chat with Kathy, but yes, and right now those 2 are coming to mind.
Okay, thank you, Fatima.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else? All right, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here and making this discussion alive, and I will stick it on my calendar that we need to set up a session on how to do muscle testing and pendling. It will not be an in-depth class. It will just give you some tricks and tools, okay?
Okay.
So blessings to each one of you. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.